Hey folks, this is BestInSlot, and the full patch notes for free update 7 for Jurassic World Evolution 2 have been released, which means today we're going to go through and pick out the important things that we didn't cover in yesterday's videos because either I forgot or because they simply weren't mentioned or weren't obvious. There's a few cool things here. We've got more Spinosaurus content on the way, more importantly than anything else. People have been hyping up a specific kill all night, and we're going to check that out very soon. But first, let's dig into some of these changes in the free update, which should now be accessible to all of you at home. It has come out for PC and console alike. Number one, and I should have mentioned this yesterday, they did talk about this, just that all the sandbox levels are now available, so you don't need to have even played the campaign to unlock all of these. You don't need to have done the Biosyn campaign to unlock Sanctuary, as long as you've bought the DLC. Likewise with the Malta DLC. You need to own the DLC, but you no longer need to play through the campaign to unlock these maps. Basically, if you never want to play the campaign, for whatever reason, you now don't have to. You can just hop straight into Sandbox Mode and live the dream. Also, a couple new settings in Sandbox Mode as well. If we go down here into dinosaurs and we make sure we've got dinosaur danger to guests on, we've got escapes on, we can now set intelligent dinosaurs. That causes some dinosaurs to be synthesized with the intelligent trait, and that makes them more popular with your guests, but it also makes them more likely to test for fences and stuff like that and potentially break out if they find a weak fence. We're talking really your theropods, your raptors, your dromaeosaurids in particular with this, but that enables that for sandbox mode. If you're doing that in challenge mode, that will of course make things more difficult. We also have a new setting down here in dinosaur comfort. You can have it off, you can have it on, but you can now also turn it onto hard mode. We're not making a joke there, by turning fussy trait on. Setting this to fussy gives all newly synthesized dinosaurs the fussy trait, raising their requirements to be comfortable. So if you want your sandbox mode, and you can turn this on in challenge as we've seen as well, to be extra difficult, turn this on and all your dinosaurs will have increased comfort requirements to be happy within their habitats. Now, just before we hop into game, one last thing, they've added the ability to view different dinosaur models in the Jurassic World database, so you can hop into the database and see things like the Giganotosaurus, for example, in both its Dominion and Jurassic World Evolution form. So there you go. There's also a nice quality of life update to the species viewer. You can now come in here, and as you can see at the bottom, we can turn slow motion on or off. So if I hit the T key, that'll render everything in slow motion. Very, very cool. Hide the UI. If you want to take screenshots, if you just want to make dramatic... Okay, I'm going to show my age a little bit here, but back in the 90s, on the PlayStation 1, there was a demo disc you could get as part of a magazine. They used to do quite a few demo discs. Novel idea, right? But back then, you got a little demo disc and it had like little snippets of gameplay and stuff like that. And one of them, for the PS1, had this thing where there was a running Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it looked vaguely similar to this. It was a little browner, there was no flooring, but it was vaguely similar to this. This is a blast from the past for me. I just wanted to point that out. Most people will not know what I'm talking about, but I'll try to find a little reference and I'll throw that up on the screen. But I loved that thing as a kid. It was like a defining part of my childhood, that running T-Rex, and part of the reason I loved the dinosaurs in the first place, honestly. A couple of things to show you actually in-game as well. This is definitely something that would have slipped by me without the patch notes, and that is this nice little quality of life change, nice little change to all of you who do build with settings on, who build in challenge mode, yada yada yada. Reduced all sauropod territory requirements by 25%, which is a pretty big chunk, knocking a quarter down. That's all sauropod as well. It says all sauropods, so that's probably ranging from your smaller, your Nigersaurus, your Amargasaurus, up to, as you can see, your Brachiosaurus. Now, I can't really do a comparison with this. I don't happen to have a perfectly placed pre-exhibit from before the patch for fairly obvious reasons. But this is basically the minimum size a Brachiosaurus enclosure now needs to be. If we have a look at our Brachie here, you can see all the environmental needs, all the territory needs are just about correct. They are like right at the cusp of the red marker, but they're just about in the white, and they're all okay. This is essentially the smallest an exhibit can possibly be and sustain a single Brachiosaurus. That does seem small to me. It probably feels about 25% smaller. It's very hard to quantify. Some of you who play challenge mode more often, I very rarely have requirements on, but those of you who play challenge mode more often may look at this and realize, yeah, that's 25% smaller. You'll have to let me know in the comment section, but I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. Should make maintaining things like your sauropods a whole lot easier either way. And of course, this will scale up nicely as you add more Brachiosauruses. If you've got a bigger herd, their area growth increases, but it should increase by less per extra species member, basically. Right, one more thing to go. So as we saw in last night's videos, the Spinosaurus has been given a new rig, basically. Not only does it have a new walking posture, a new exit animation, but actually there's a little error that was going on over here on the thigh. That's been here for ages. There's been mods for ages that have fixed this one specific problem. I think it was we who had it, and that has officially been fixed as well. So new rig, new walking posture, new exit animation, all this cool stuff. But as it turns out, there was one thing I missed. This is only talked about in the patch notes. It says adjusted Spinosaurus posing in all behaviors and movements, and it turns out there's a brand new animation to go along with it, an even cooler one, and what it is a new kill animation on the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So for good reason, I've got myself a Jurassic Park 3 T-Rex here, and we're gonna put this as a test. So let's have a little bit of combat. Now this is a very weak Rex and a very strong Spinosaurus, so it shouldn't take long for us to see this animation. The Rex does go for the first hit. Oh. It really didn't take long. There we go. We've got the neck break animation from Jurassic Park 3. Spinosaurus gripping the T-Rex's head and neck in both its hands and twisting to break the neck. We're going to watch that a few more times. So enjoy. I love how it's not just using the hands, but you can see it kind of, it clamps down in its jaws and it kind of tilts its own. It's using its bite force and the strength of its neck and jaw muscles to break the, to roll forward and break the neck of the Rex. Okay, very cool. As usual, there's some details I really like. The left foot coming forward to kind of, steady the Spino as it rings the neck, to really generate all of that force that it needs. And then it does a little moonwalk on the spot, as you are prone to doing. It's a really cool little change that they didn't have to do. I know they're putting it on a new rig, yada yada, so maybe they couldn't use the old animation. I don't know if that was a thing, but someone with at least some knowledge of the franchise and maybe a little love for Jurassic Park 3, which I retain is criminally underrated, although has had a bit of a cult resurgence lately, which I love to see. I'm going to do a video about Jurassic Park 3 eventually, about why it's my second favourite in the franchise. It's just a really cool little detail, and, the free updates continue to be, whilst this one I don't think is up to the level of, say, the last one, which was spectacular, they continue to be a really nice free addition to the game, and Evolution 2 is in a much better place than it was a couple of years ago, so shout out to Frontier for that one. Right, yeah, really cool stuff. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. It's only Thursday though, so I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Throw me a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about the new Spino on T-Rex kill. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers much love as always. Bye-bye.